Good morning, everybody. It's Wednesday morning. It's 8:30. Eyal just left. The boys left earlier left for school. Eyal just left now. He went to the post office, and I hope he will bring a package for me. I think this is what he is going to bring back from the post, and I think I have something nice coming, so I might share it with you later today. If this is what is coming, if what I think is in the package, I will share it with you later. So this is my morning knitting session. I start the day with some knitting, and this morning I add a square to my Coziest Memory Blanket. I don't have something that I usually knit on. It's like whatever I feel like to knit in the morning. And I think it was not yesterday, but the day before, on Monday, I received the December pack from Row 1, from my Row 1 subscription. This is what I'm adding now to my blanket, one of the colors from the Row 1 subscription. This was also one of the colors from December pack. This one is a mixture of a sock wool, industrial sock wool, and I mixed it with stripes from Aweta, just a solid color from Aweta. So yeah, I'm not sure I will finish the square, the entire square in this morning knitting, but I will knit, maybe a few more minutes, and then I will start my housekeeping jobs. Yeah. Usually I like to go through all the rooms and sort all the rooms and, I don't know, tidy up all the rooms, and then make some preparations if needed for whatever I'm going to prepare for lunch. Usually I'm here for lunch with the boys. Anyway, I have a little bit of coffee left, so I'll drink whatever I have left. Sometimes I take what I have left to the studio and sit at my desk to answer Etsy conversations. This morning I already answered one, and I have one left to answer. So I'll go to the studio. Maybe before going to my housekeeping jobs, I'll go to the studio, answer this Etsy conversation. I also have at least one laundry cycle for today. So I think I'm going to sit here and enjoy just a few more minutes of knitting. This is the color that I add now. I think I'm almost like halfway through. And as you can see, I alternate between English style knitting and continental knitting. I think originally when I was a young girl, my grandmother, the mother of my mother, she taught me how to knit, and she originally taught me the English style, and that's I think the way I knitted all the years after that. But I don't know, in some point I taught myself how to knit the continental way, and I have to say I'm very happy I did, because it really makes it easier on my joints, on my hands, that I can switch between the knitting styles. And I also like to use the Norwegian style knitting, when you hold the yarn Let me show you. When you hold the yarn this way, yeah. And meanwhile, this is what I knitted on my new square. I almost finished the square and I discovered I have a mistake, so I had to rip it all out. I didn't have the same number of stitches on each side of the marker, so I ripped it all out. And then I just picked up all the stitches again. Very, very frustrating, but I think this is the end of my morning knitting session for the day. It will wait for me for, maybe later I will come back to work on it. Anyway, now I made sure I picked up stitches and I have 20 stitches from each side of the marker. So it's good to go again. So it's Thursday morning now, not what I planned. I originally planned to vlog the whole day yesterday, but I was unexpectedly interrupted here with the problem we have in the building. One of the neighbors called me out and I had to be actively involved in this problem. We had to reach out for the right person in the right department in the city hall that takes care of such problems. And we live in a building of 7 floors with 26 apartments, and I had to, be actively there and get it all sorted. So it took quite a few hours, then it took me completely out of my recording zone. So here I am again today. Today is Thursday, January 18. It's 20:37. We started the day with a sunrise walk. I was walking and Eyal was running. We had a lovely start for the day. And now I'm ready to be here for our weekly knitting chat. I have 2 works in progress to share with you. I have 1 finished object that I finished this morning, 2 works in progress, maybe 1 extra. I wanted to share an update with my new scarf, crochet scarf design. And I also wanted to share what arrived in the mail yesterday. So I think we can start. I have my warm tea with me. I hope you also have something warm and nice to drink. And yeah, thank you so much for joining me here. Let's first start with what I'm wearing. I'm wearing my Nook sweater by Laine. I shared all the details about it here in my channel in the past, but just briefly, I knitted it with Ito Shimo and Ito Sensai held together with a 4mm needle, and I knitted it quite big with a lot of positive ease, so I can easily wear it on top of sweatshirts, just like I wear it today. So this is what I'm wearing. Finished object. So this morning I finished my Cozy Weekend socks. I haven't, weaving the yarn ends in the start, in the calf. Let's see. So this is my Cozy Weekend socks. It's a pattern available in my Etsy and my Ravelry stores. I will leave a link to the pattern down below for you. I knitted it a little bit smaller than what the pattern calls for. I really hope to add this size to the pattern, but this time I knitted it with 56. I cast on 56 stitches. Let me show you the yarn I used. I used the yarn I had in my stash for quite a while. It's Superba Alpacas Luxury Sock by Rico. And it's 62% wool, 23% polyamide, 15% alpaca. It's kind of like it's a DK weight. You have 310 meters per 100 grams in one ball, and this is what I have left from this ball after knitting my pair. And I knitted my pair on a 2.75mm needle. I almost always cast on a 9-inch circular and knit my socks top down on a 9-inch circular needle, and I only use a long circular needle for the heel flap, heel turn, and for the toe. So this time I cast on 56 stitches. It's a little bit smaller. It looks gorgeous and it feels so lovely on my feet. I really wanted to leave them on this morning when I tried them on, but this yarn was for quite a while. It was in my studio, and I will have to soak them and wash them and block them before using them. Anyway, I made the leg portion a little bit shorter, so I think I have less cables than in the original pattern. I was afraid that I will not have enough yarn, but eventually I could make them longer because I still have enough yarn left. Anyway, I made them a little bit shorter, and then I just made the heel, like I took out one of the cables from the leg portion. I think the pattern calls for 8 cables in the leg, and maybe I have 5 or 6. And then I knitted like a slip stitch heel flap, which is all my go-to heel flap, heel turn, and then I picked up stitches and continued to work the feet. I think I picked up 14 stitches and 1 extra for the hole, to avoid a hole. And yeah, they fit perfectly on my legs and I can't wait to use them. I just wanted to show you, and this is why I didn't take out these markers. As I also recommend in the pattern, I placed a safety pin on one of the stitches, on the first stitch on the second row of the cable. And it really helps me to track my rounds after the cable round. So it's a very, very simple cable. It's a 3x3, so you place 3 stitches on your cable needle, place it in front of the work, knit 3 stitches from your left hand needle, and then knit the 3 stitches from your cable needle, and this is it. But I do like to mark the first round after the cable round, and it really, really helps me to keep track on the number of rounds between cable rounds. Yeah, I hope the camera showed it nicely, all the details. I will insert footage of them on my feed. So this is the finished object I have for today, and we can move on for works in progress. So let me give you an update with the square that I was, I thought I will complete it yesterday while vlogging, but I knitted almost the entire way just to discover I don't have the same number of stitches before the marker and after the marker, and it was very frustrating, but I have to admit it happens to me quite a lot. Unfortunately, sorry, this is the truth. And yeah, and yesterday afternoon, after I had some quiet time, I finished it. So this is a hand-dyed wool out of my December pack that I received from the Row 1 subscription. Unfortunately, during the war days here in Israel, shipments are so terrible, and it takes ages to receive something. And the December pack arrived Monday morning, so it arrived when the January pack was supposed to arrive, but this is how it works these days here. So yeah, I added, I think this one was also from the December pack. I shared it yesterday. Yeah, so I'm working my way on the 9th row on my Coziest Memory Blanket, and I already knitted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Wow! 10 squares on the 9th row. So I have 16 more to go. I have 26 squares, and I plan to make it 26 by 20. But I don't plan to finish it anytime soon because I want it in my life as long as possible. And on the other hand, I always want to reach it out and knit it, especially these days. Although I have to update you that this week I made a huge change for myself and for my family. We don't open the TV anymore afternoon and evenings like we had the routine ever since October 7th brutal attack. We don't open the TV. It's today, from last Friday. So no TV, no news in the evening, and we are with smartphones and with social media. We get updated if we want or if not, but we don't we don't reach out for the news in the evening hours, and it is much better personally for me, for my mental health, and also for my kids and my husband. So yeah, I always reach out for this project and want to work on it. So if we can stay related to this project, this week I started to record tutorials, this time in Hebrew, for how I knit my Coziest Memory Blanket. I recorded the first square, how I knit the first square, and how I join the second square or the next square in the row. This time I made it in Hebrew. I had a lot of my Hebrew speaking followers reach out to ask if I can make it in Hebrew, so they can also jump into this joyful journey, and I'm very happy to do it. So if you see Hebrew tutorials pop into my channel suddenly, please be aware it's the Coziest Memory Blanket. I think I will have to make 4 videos. So one for the first, how I knitted the first square, the second for how you join the next square in the row, the third will be how I join the first square on the next row, so here, and the fourth video will be how I join and knit a square after I have 2 squares to join to. I hope it makes sense. Anyway, this is also, technically it's a work in progress, and it's a work in progress. Yeah, next work in progress that I wanted to share is related to my granny square blanket. I think the name is Pink Rose by Knitting for Olive. Yeah, I knitted with a yarn from Knitting for Olive, and I think the name of the yarn is Pink Rose. So I think if you are not new to here, you know I'm speaking about these squares, granny squares. And I knitted, I also shared all the information here on my channel in the past. Soft Rose. I knitted with Knitting for Olive Merino, which is a fingering yarn in color Soft Rose. And I purchased, I think, 12 more balls on our last visit in Copenhagen. Anyway, this week I thought maybe it will be nice to incorporate squares within, because originally I thought I will make the entire blanket out of this square. And by the way, I made a full tutorial of how I crochet these squares, and it's available here in my channel if you like. And originally I crocheted using a 3mm hook. Yeah. Originally I planned to make a summer throw for our bed with this soft rose color. I really imagined it very, very subtle, very minimalistic. I just wanted this solid square texture, you know, lay on our bed in the summer days. And I plan to crochet squares. I'm not sure what size, but maybe it will be 12 by 10 or 12 by 11 squares. And I plan to join it with using the slip stitch joining method, front slip stitch joining method, which I also have a tutorial here on my YouTube channel. But this week I thought maybe I can add, you know, here and there, I can add squares where I knitted the first 2, where I crocheted the first 2 rounds using a hand-dyed wool. So in this case, I used this pink hand-dyed by Malabrigo that I purchased on my visit to yarn. Yeah, I shared this visit on my previous episode if you like to watch, but this is what I used for this sample. I think I made one more. Let me see. Yeah, I started a new one. So I started by making the 2 first rounds using this hand-dyed wool. So it creates a little center square with a little bit more visual information. I think I really, really like this idea because if I imagine it lay on the bed, it will look like dots. And my idea is to use different yarns, different, you know, colors, pink hand-dyed colors for a few squares in the blanket. Maybe a few, maybe one solid and one with the two colors. I'm not sure yet. You know, this is typically me in the process. I always like to, you know, question my, if I'm sure I know I want how it will look, I like to question this again in the process. This is me. I don't know how to explain it, but I always like to check something else that I was not originally thinking of. Anyway, I think it can look nice. It's not easy for me to give up the minimalist idea, it's not easy for me to, you know, I'm not sure I will go for it because I'm still connected to the idea that I want this, you know, subtle throw just as a texture on our, or as a subtle color with a texture laid on our bed. But we shall see. As I look at it now, I think it looks good. Please let me know what you think. I will be more than happy to hear your ideas. Of course, it will be my own decision at the end of the road, but I will be very happy to hear what would you do if you choose to add a little color or not, or if you would leave it plain. Yeah. So these are the works in progress that I wanted to share today. I have quite a lot of squares made, and after I crochet them and I use the invisible joint to close my squares, you will see it's also included in the tutorial. I keep all my finished squares in my Nina bag, which is also a pattern available in my Etsy and Ravelry stores. And yeah, I think we can move into an update about my new crochet scarf. So last weekend I think I sorted out the way I want the edging to look. So now I have 3 samples made by me and a few samples on the go made by Mendes girl knitters, but these are my 3 samples. So yeah, last weekend I sorted out how I want the edging or the border to look, and I added it to one side of the scarf. Let me get the yarn. I found a leftover of Le Ben Ami sport weight yarn that I had in the studio. Yeah, it's in a bag I purchased in Tokyo, in Amirisu, in Walnut, Tokyo. Yeah. So I found a little bit of yarn, Merino Sport by Le Ben Ami, and I went to look in their website to update you. The name is Rose Quartz. I really like this colorway. It's gorgeous, so rich. And this is what I used to crochet the border here. And this is now is already written, this pattern, and also I have just to finish something, just a small detail on the edging, and I really want to make it before Monday so the Monday girls can start making it. Anyway, I decided while knitting this one, I decided that I want to make also a small version for the same scarf. So first I knitted, you know, the long version without any border, any edging. And then I knitted the long version with this edging. I don't know how you say, if you say edging or border. I'm not sure what is the right way to say. In the pattern, I called it edging. But if it's wrong, please let me know and I will fix it. Anyway, I decided that I want to make also a short version because I wanted to... So you see, this is the short version. It came out 90 centimeters. Long version came out 130 centimeters. And the reason I wanted to do it is because I want you to have the option to make yourself a scarf out of one ball of this cashmere. Because this cashmere that I knitted it with is not, you know, it's an investment. And let me show you. I used Cardiff, Cashmere by Cardiff. I think it gets focused just if it doesn't see my face. So let's try it now. Because it always wants to get to focus on my face. I hope so. I cannot see if it was in focus. Anyway, it's Cashmere Classic by Cardiff. And you have 25 grams and 112 meters per ball. This is the yarn. I ordered more from Yarn, the local shop I visited a few weeks ago, and I ordered more, and the girls here ordered a lot more because everybody here plans to crochet this scarf, which makes me so happy. So it will be test knitted or test crocheted by a lot of people here. And if any of you want to test crochet this pattern, please leave it in the comment and I will send you the pattern to test it. Anyway, the pattern will be including the long version, which you will use maybe 1.5 balls without the edging, and also a short version, which you will need only 1 ball for the short version. But the short version is made to wear it just like that, you know, maybe inside a jacket or something like that. And I also included the edging option for the short version. So you can make either the long version or the short version with or without the edging. Yeah, options. We have options and we want options. Not always good to have so many options, but in this case I just want to, you know, please you. No way. I first want to please myself, and I know I would love to have it with and without the edging. So this is why I included it in my pattern. So this is where I am now. I hope I will have a written pattern for the Mondays club and then on Tuesday evening for the Knit Night Club. The Knit Night Club returned to meet on Tuesday evenings a little bit earlier, but we went back for afternoon, evening time. Yeah, for the border you will just need like tiny little, you know, leftover of a DK or sport weight yarn. Anyway, I crocheted it using a 3.5 millimeter needle. You will see in the footage that I plan to add at the end of this episode, you will see one that Vered is making using a fingering yarn held together with a mohair yarn using a 3.75 millimeter hook. Is there anything else that I have to share regarding this design? No, I don't think so. what arrived in the mail yesterday when we were meeting here yesterday morning. So I think I shared it in the past. I originally purchased this cashmere in a lovely wool shop with a lovely lady. I think her name is Anastasia, from Flig Yarn. I think a wool shop named Flig. Anyway, I purchased this kind of cashmere in this shop in Copenhagen. She only had the one last ball and I took it. And when I started to design this scarf, I started using this yarn, but I only had one ball. And I didn't think about, you know, of the short version, and I got stuck. And I was, it felt very not pleasing to get stuck without a yarn. I went immediately to look for it, and I found the same color with the same batch, the same dye lot, in a shop that I never ordered from. The name of the shop is the Knitting Loft from Canada. I never ordered from them. Shipping was high, but I wanted to have more balls to finish up my pattern, and I knew I want to have a scarf made out of this specific color just to have it for myself. So yesterday when I was filming, it just arrived a few minutes before I started to film, and it's a cashmere by Lang, Cashmere Premium. Let's see, where is the English? It's 25 grams and 115 meters. So it's the same yarn quality. Ravelry told me it's a DK wool, and it's with this lovely icy light gray. What's the name of the color? 78.0023. This is the name of the color. Yeah, and I found the same dye lot, which for me is a miracle. Anyway, I will not use it for the short version because it's already done, but I might use it, you know, for another long version, because I just, you know, I can see myself making for me and for my daughter and for gifts more and more of these scarves. And yeah, we made a huge order from Jan, from Zvika. So I supposed to get more colors of the cashmere by Cardiff soon, I hope. Another cashmere that I have, it wasn't arrived in the mail, but I got it as I was gifted by one of the Mendes ladies, one of the Mendes knitters. It's a light fingering one, and I never heard about this cashmere before. But it's this one, and I think it's a Chinese cashmere. It's 98% cashmere, 2% anti-peeling fiber, 50 grams, and I don't know how many meters. It's not written here how many meters. Anyway, this is the yarn, and one of the lovely knitters on Monday, she asked me if I want to use it, and I will hold it together and make myself another crochet scarf. By the way, I think the name of the scarf will be Sunny Scarf, so let me know what you think. So yeah, it's not arrived in the mail something, but I wanted to share it with you. The other thing that arrived in the mail is the Isager Jensen yarn, and I plan to knit myself another mussel brouette out of it. This was the first mussel brouette that I knitted using the same yarn in this color. And now I want to use this color. I knitted it using a 4mm needle, and I will do the same this time. I just use this set almost every day. I really enjoy this set, and I really enjoy the texture and the way, you know, it sits on my head and the way it frames my face. I really like it, and I thought I really like browns and, you know, dark brown on my skin, so I thought I will order it and I will start the mussel brouette. When will I cast on? Not sure yet, but I have the yarn and I can go right away. This yarn was ordered from a wool shop that I order from them quite a lot. It's a Finnish wool shop. The name is TTYYY. I think I showed you the package in the past. I'm not sure. I'm sorry if I butchered the name, and if you know how to say the name correctly, you can, you know, let me know. But this is the name of the shop. It's a Finnish one. I like to order from them, and usually we combine orders. I combine order with another knitter just to split the shipping cost. So yeah, I think this is it. I think this is it for today. I'm not sure I want to include, like, you know, a specific update for the from the word days. I feel very heavy without sharing. I will end this episode, of course, with a pray. Like every morning we pray, and every evening before we go to bed we pray for our hostages to be back home soon with their loved ones. So yeah, and this is everything I wanted to share with you for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed, and I really hope everything will go as planned, and I will meet you here again next week. Until then, happy making, everyone. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.